Hello, hello, hello. Give me one good moment. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Y'all, excuse me one moment. I'm trying to get this camera working right. All right, people. Hope y'all are doing all right. I hope y'all are doing all right out there. Again, I've gone live. We've got a lot to discuss. We have a lot to discuss. All right. All right. Housekeeping. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Hit that like button. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of movies and television series that I have reviewed. Hey, listen, thank you so much for the information that you gave me. I've got to go back over because there's been so much stuff going on with that case that I have not been abreast to. I got to go back and read up. So I do appreciate it because the little thing that I was going to do is now dated. So thank you so much for the information that you had given me. And if you like, subscribe again. And you'll be open to a plethora of movies and television series that I have reviewed, my pop culture chats, and also my celebrity legal news. And this is what we're going over. So, as I reported yesterday, Jay-Z was Tony Busby amended the complaint against Sean Combs and added Jay-Z's name. He is Celebrity A. So I wanted to go over the two letters that were sent. Also, I wanted to go over some information sent to me. It is a Twitter X timeline going over some information that we'll go over. But first, let's go over these letters really quick. We're going to go over the first one, and this is from Jay-Z's attorneys. And I am going to read these letters. Let me go ahead and make it bigger. I'm going to read these letters, and then we're going to go over them just a bad. We're going to go over, and then we're going to go over the new information that I received. So without further ado, all right, let me go back up. So this is from the law offices of Quinn Emanuel. He's a trial lawyer in New York. This was dated December 9th, and this was in response to Tony Busby amending the initial complaint, the initial lawsuit, and adding Jay-Z's name. All right, so this is who they've sent it to. The Honorable Annalisa Torres, Daniel Patrick Monahan, the United States Courthouse, 500 Pearl Street, yada, yada, yada. It's in regard to the Jane Doe versus Sean Carter ETL. It gives the case number. Dear Honorable Judge Torres, they write on behalf of their client, and concerning the inflammatory allegations made against him in the recently filed amended complaint. Based on the meritless and frivolous accusation, Mr. Carter has filed a motion to deny plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously pursuant to Fed R at CIVP 10-A, or to dismiss the complaint pursuant to whatever it is this morning. Due to the highly sensitive nature of this matter and the intense media scrutiny it has generated, we respectfully request to be heard on an expedited basis. And so and I highlighted some of these things because these were some of the things that were interesting to me. For the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Carter is entirely innocent. This is a shakedown. He is not mentioned, referenced, or implicated in any way in the criminal investigation of Mr. Combs. He is neither a target nor a person of interest in that investigation. So the investigation that they're talking about is what Puff Daddy is sitting in jail right now, who has been denied jail. His trafficking and coercion and all that other case that we have going on. So he's talking about that particular case that he has no involvement in. It says, adding to the urgency of this matter, Attorney Tony Buzbee has orchestrated a months-long press campaign aimed at inflaming public opinion and escalating the events in real time on social media platforms. Every day and in real time, Buzbee continues to amplify false narratives, exploiting the legal process to generate media attention and damage Mr. Carter's reputation. This relentless campaign underscores the need for a fast-tracked hearing to address these issues promptly and prevent further harm. It says here the plaintiff requests to proceed, and that's going to be Jay-Z. The plaintiff's request to proceed not Jay-Z, Jane Doe. Good Lord. Plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously is both procedurally improper and unsupported by law. Says the federal rule of civil procedure requires all parties to be named in their pleadings, reflecting the bedrock principle of transparency in judicial proceedings. Plaintiff has failed to demonstrate any compelling circumstances that would justify an extraordinary departure from this rule. The speculative and unsubstantiated claims of harm presented by plaintiff's counsel do not meet the stringent standards required by the Second Circuit and other federal courts allow pseudonymity. Wow, that's a nerd word, and I got it right the first time. Furthermore, plaintiff's allegations, coupled with the conduct of her counsel, Anthony Buzbee, suggest a deliberate attempt to leverage the judicial process to generate unwarranted media attention and pressure Mr. Carter into a settlement. This misuse of the legal system undermines both its integrity and Mr. Carter's ability to defend himself effectively. It is critical that plaintiff's identity be disclosed so that Mr. Carter can investigate and respond to the claim fully and fairly. We further note that the timing of this filing coincides with ongoing media coverage of unrelated matters involving Mr. Combs' criminal trial in which Mr. Buzbee does not represent victims, underscoring the procedural and retaliatory nature of the plaintiff's claim. The amended complaint appears designed not to seek justice, but to rather to amplify unsubstantiated allegations and harm Mr. Carter's reputation, unsubstantiated allegations and harm Mr. Carter's reputation by Anthony Buzbee. Allowing plaintiffs to proceed anonymously would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiffs and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. Given these circumstances, we respectfully urge the court to deny plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously and dismiss the complaint pursuant to Rule 12b-1. This matter is of the utmost importance, and we have requested, this is what they're requesting, to request an expedited hearing to address these significant procedures and substantive issues. Blah, blah, blah. We are available to the court's earliest convenience, and this is coming from Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan LLP. All right. That is the initial letter that they sent out. There has been another letter filed with the court. I want to go over that. And then we're going to go up. Let's see who else. Hey, Andre. What's up? So there is a second filing, that letter that was filed. Hold on. So basically, in that first letter, they're wanting the plaintiff's anonymity to be stricken because they're saying that he doesn't have a right. He has a right to face his accusers. A lot of folks who are into victims of sexual violence and things like that are pushing back against that. So we're going to read the second letter that they've put forth. And so let's see, you all see it on the screen. Yes. So this was done today, December 10th. filed to Honorable Annalisa Torres. And it says, Dear Honorable Judge Torres, on December 8th, plaintiff filed an amended complaint naming my client, Sean Carter, as a defendant in this lawsuit. On December 9th, 2024, we filed a motion seeking to have the court decline to permit the plaintiff in this case to proceed anonymously. As noted in that motion, plaintiff's attorney Anthony Busby has engaged in a campaign to leverage unfounded and heinous allegations against celebrities to secure large settlements. He seeks neither justice nor peace for his victims. He seeks only to benefit himself. Now, I'm going to say this. If you saw my video yesterday, you saw that there was a back and forth between Jay-Z having his statement via Rock Nation, and then Tony Busby having his statement through his Instagram. And if you are unfamiliar with that, hold on just one moment. I think I still have that. I still have that. So this was a statement from Rock Nation that Jay-Z did yesterday. And then we have Tony Busby on his Instagram feed doing his statement, because in Jay-Z's statement, he mentioned something whether, you're supposed to be honorable, you are a Marine, and then Tony Busby comes back with his old Marine picture, and they go back and forth. So that's what I was talking about in regards to their back and forth with each other. So let's go back and finish reading this second letter, and then we're going to go over some information that I was reviewing, that was sent to me, that I was reviewing on Twitter, aka X. Twitter X is what I'm gonna call it, y'all. On the afternoon of December 9th, after we had submitted the motion and accompanying exhibits for our offices received outreach of the on the afternoon of December 9th, 2024, after we had submitted the motion and accompanying exhibits, our offices received outreach via phone call and email from an individual who provided her name to us, though wishes to remain anonymous. Mari Henderson, and I guess Mari Henderson works in their office, spoke to this woman, who informed Ms. Henderson that she had previously reached out to the Busby Law Firm with respect to allegations of trafficking and abuse unrelated to Mr. Combs or Mr. Carter. The Busby Firm representatives with whom she spoke asked the woman when she met Diddy, even though her account did not relate to Mr. Combs at all. Members of the Busby Firm encouraged this woman to pursue her claims anonymously, even though she did not have any interest in doing so. When the woman raised wanting to talk to law enforcement, she was informed that it was not encouraged. After several outreaches, the woman again spoke with members of the Busby Firm, who she felt were pressing her to make allegations of being drugged, held down, and physically assaulted. Allegations were not true. I'm going to read that again. After several outreaches, the woman again spoke with members of the Busby Firm, who she felt were pressing her to make allegations of being drugged, held down, and physically assaulted. Allegations that were not true. When the woman declined to adopt the versions of events proposed by members of the Busby Firm, she was summarily dropped as a client. Though the woman provided her identity to Ms. Henderson, she wishes to remain unnamed at this time for fear of retaliation by the Busby Firm. The information provided by this woman is in the declaration of Mari Henderson, attached here too as Exhibit A. This information, which came to Quinn Emanuel unsolicited, is further evidence in support of Mr. Carter's right to thoroughly investigate, test, and respond to the spurious allegations that have been leveled against him. We respectfully request that the court consider this additional information, which was received by Quinn Emanuel only after the filing of yesterday's motion was complete, in connection with the motion to deny the plaintiff's request to proceed anonymously. And it's again respectful. So let's go down and see what this young lady Okay, so this is the formal thing. So it's Jane Doe versus Sean Combs, yada, yada, yada. This is the declaration of Mari Henderson. All right. It says, I, Mari Henderson, swear under the penalty of perjury pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1746 as follows. Number one, I am an associate with the law firm of Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan, LLP, attorneys for defendant Sean Carter, and I submit this declaration in support of Mr. Carter's motion to deny plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously. On December 9th, I spoke by telephone with a female adult resident of the state of Texas whose name is known to me. Another adult whose full name is known to me was a witness to this conversation. So there's two people who have heard this conversation. The information contained in this declaration is an accurate summary of the information provided to me by this woman on December 9th, 2024, namely that A, in early October 2024, this woman saw coverage of attorney Anthony Busby's press conference regarding allegations of trafficking and abuse by Sean Combs and submitted a brief outline of trafficking exploitation events via a Busby Law Firm website online submission form. The woman spoke with 3 members of Mr. Busby's firm and provided details regarding her experiences as a victim of trafficking by celebrities entirely unrelated to Mr. Combs or Mr. Carter. And she was told that they would take on her representation. After detailing her experiences to an attorney at Mr. Busby's firm, he, I guess that attorney, pressed her for a connection to Mr. Combs, asking, at what point did you meet Diddy? Even though she made it clear that her case was unrelated to Mr. Combs. Mr. Busby's firm pressed for this woman to pursue a civil case as an anonymous Doe plaintiff, even though she never raised proceedings anonymously as a possibility, and questioned doing so after it was heavily suggested to remain doing so, even though she was not interested in remaining anonymous at the time. That's a lot to say that she didn't want to be an anonymous Jane Doe. When the woman brought up wanting to go to law enforcement with her allegations, members of the Busby firm informed her that going to law enforcement was not encouraged. After not hearing from Mr. Busby's firm for weeks, during which this woman tried to contact the firm multiple times, she spoke again with the member of the firm who pressed her to confirm false details regarding her experiences as a victim, including that she was drugged, held down, pushed, and physically assaulted. She felt directed and coached by Mr. Busby's firm to say that someone held her down and put drugs in her mouth when that was not her experience. She felt forced to lie. G. When the woman made clear she was unwilling to adapt the narrative Mr. Busby's firm laid out and wanted only to speak her truth, she was dropped as a client and told that Mr. Busby's firm was unwilling to represent her any longer. She felt as though once she expressed that she was not a coachable victim, she was dismissed. This woman shared this information because she felt the conduct by Mr. Busby's firm, specifically to encourage lies, discredits those who are legitimate victims. This woman expressed that she fears retaliation from Mr. Busby's firm if she shares her true identity or signs her name to a declaration in this case at this time. I declare under the penalty of perjury that the foregoing statements are true and correct, executed in Los Angeles, California on this 10th day of December, 2024. So, let's see who's all in here. Hey, Amberly. Meek Mill. What did Meek Mill have right? Please share. Hey, Kat. The part about coaching is wild to see on paper, but I'm not surprised. Yeah. We've got some more information. So this is what this is Jay-Z fighting back. This is information that his lawyers have filed in court to let the judge know that they want this particular Jane Doe not to file anonymously, and they're also talking about the unscrupulous, according to them, the unscrupulous conduct by the Busby law firm. Now, I do remember hearing and talking that there were some other folks saying that the Busby law firm had been sued for some unscrupulous actions. I'm not sure. It's just what I heard, allegedly, but there's some information going around that they had been sued in regards to that. Now, y'all have any questions about these letters? These letters. Looks like Jay-Z is fighting back in court to see what the judge is going to say. I'll need you all to give me just one moment, okay? So they look like they're fighting back. So listen, let me do this. Shout out to Blue's House. He sent me let me pull this up. It's from the Twitter. So you remember yesterday I went over the initial complaint. Thank you. Meek said that they wanted this reported so much that we'll be programmed into thinking that Jay-Z did it. Okay, understood. You remember yesterday I did my I went over the initial before it was amended. I went over the initial lawsuit filed by Jane Doe about those particular things that happened that night. What she said that she wanted. And if you want to get back detail by detail, please go back to that video and you can definitely come back here. But I'm just going to go over what I see over here on the Twitter X. But you remember I went over there. You remember we went over there and Blue came on and we were talking and discussing like all the little different things that didn't make sense to us. We couldn't figure it out. Again, we're not natives of New York. So everything, where Radio Music City Hall is, how you go and move about and doing certain things were stumping us. And particularly what was stumping me was the time, because the one thing I do know about New York and things like that is that traffic is horrendous. So whether something may be 5 miles away, if you live where I live, 5 miles away is probably 5-10 minutes away. But in New York, with the levels of traffic, something 5 miles away may take you 35, 40 minutes to get 5 miles away, unless you're going to walk or something like that. And I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference or not. But just to say, the traffic is so heavy that what would take me 5 minutes may take a New Yorker 35, 40 minutes. And it's calculably the same distance. So there were some things like that was going on. But with Jay-Z being married to Beyonce, the Beehive done got hold of some stuff. And so so what I wanted to do, shout out to Blue, he sent the thing because we were talking about it, and then we were talking about it offline about how some things just weren't making any sense, how so much time was not making any sense. So this particular person, and I'm going to share my screen. So we have she's called the Beyonce Receipts, the Bay Theory. So she decided to read the lawsuit as she says. And I read it and I came out today and I noticed a lot of inconsistencies. So let's go over the inconsistencies that she has noticed. All right, where are we? For starters, so I'm reading her thread. We're going to go through her thread and we'll read her thread, and then you all let me know if you've got anything questions or anything to add or anything not to add. I do have a copy of the amended lawsuit, and I'll have the copy of the initial lawsuit, and we can definitely go put those side by side and see what they say. So let's start with this. She says, so I decided to read through the lawsuit. I read it when it came out, but today I noticed lots of inconsistencies. I want to point out a few. For starters, the VMAs was September 2000, was held at Radio City in New York for the show A Thing. Now, when I looked it up, it was September 7th, and I think that that was like on a Thursday evening, and it started at 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, September 7th, 8 a.m. So that was on a Thursday, and she has it located. She's talked about it here. It says the show ran for 3 hours and 10 minutes. So the show ended at 11 p.m. Excuse me. Yeah. Assuming the after party starts at exactly 11 p.m., she's making an assumption here, we will work from there. According to the original claim, Jane Doe stated that she didn't have tickets, so she sat outside and watched the show on Jumbotron. And they have can I make this bigger? I think I can. All right, made it bigger. So here, section 40 of it, it says, as the event began, much of the crowd moved inside, but plaintiffs without a ticket remained outside with the others and watched the VMA on a Jumbotron. Determined to get into the VMAs or after party, she approached several limousine drivers parked nearby and attempted to talk her way into either. It doesn't state whether she watched the entire show or not, but she then states she went around looking for ways to get to an after party and was approaching limos. According to the original claim, without Jay's name, she stated the driver told her to be back to the spot at 9:30. The award show ended at 11 and it started at 8. The show was nowhere near over at 9:30 p.m. and everyone was still inside. And here it is. Here's the correlating information that she's giving to it. In the updated lawsuit that included Jay's name, Tony B removed the timestamp of the driver claiming to meet at 9:30, knowing it wouldn't add up because all celebrities were still inside the venue at the award show. So she's showing a copy of that thing. And it says here, number 42, the driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event and that he'd pick her up and take her to this after party. And what I'll do is I'll go back through, but like I said, these are her. This is Beyonce receipts, the Bay Theories receipts. We're just going to read through them and keep it moving. The new claim states he told her to come back to that spot after the event, VMAs was over. So we went from 9:30 to 11. In the new claim, Jane Doe claimed that the driver told her that he had to drop Diddy and others off to an after party first, and then he would come back for her. So that means that the driver left Radio City at 11 p.m. to drop Diddy and whoever off. The original claim does not say this. Diddy went to, I believe, hosted by NSYNC, which was a club, I guess, an after party at Twirl that night as well. Jay-Z was not pictured at that party. Again, at 2 nightclubs during the time she would have been at the house party that she described. Jennifer Lopez, so she pulls an article, because I know that I had clips or I pulled up internet search where you saw these, that you saw J-Lo and Sean together, and I was trying to remember, was that during the time that Shine was supposedly had shot the lady at the club or not? I couldn't remember if that was that or not, but according to what I searched, that was earlier. But I thought that Jennifer Lopez and Sean had broken up after the court hearing and stuff like that. But it looks like they were at this particular party together. And I do remember that there was There was gossip during that time that Sean and J Lo were seen arguing at this particular party because they have her in this same particular dress. All right, so let's continue. Here it is, Lotus. It is now closed. Here is an article for the New York Post describing Lotus, describing it as an opposite, describing it as opposite of how Jane Doe described the house, saying it doesn't appear to be in the right neighborhood, implying that the neighborhood looked rough, not a gated community. And so here's the article from the New Yorker. Here's where she's saying that the club was at that time. Now, I don't know how they were getting in. I don't know how they were getting in this particular club or whatever, but this looks like a door. This looks like upstairs. And it doesn't look like a house as described in the initial court filing. She stated that it took a long time for the driver to come back for her. The party Jay went to was roughly 20 minutes away. VMA traffic would have been insane. So let's say 30 minutes. So to get and come back to Radio City took the driver about an hour. And she does the corresponding. Later that evening, Plaintiff excitedly returned to the same location and waited for what seemed to her a long time. The driver eventually returned and drove her to what he described as the after party. After approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gated. What did I do? I hit something. With a gated, be a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. Once inside, two men asked plaintiff to sign a document which plaintiff did not read, but which she now believes would have been a non-disclosure agreement. So let's continue. So that means by the time the driver came to get her, Jay-Z had already at the Lotus after party for about 30 minutes. So he just got there. He picks her up and then takes her to a gated white house with a U-shaped driveway. So like a mansion that is 20 minutes away. Let's note again that the after party Jay-Z attended was not at a house. It was a nightclub downtown Manhattan hosted by Eminem and Dr. Dre. There was no driveway at all and no living room as she described, and more likely it was invite only. So they have a picture of him in that. The claim states that the victim accepted a drink from a waiter. This is important because the lawyers is saying that Jay-Z drugged her, but the claim file says she took the drink from a waiter that was walking around with them. This is the original and the new claim about the drink. So she has those things side by side. The lawyer claims that she went into a room alone where there was nothing in the room but a bed. The two men and the women came in. In the new, they add that everyone at the party did nothing to stop the assault. If they are in the living room partying, how would they know? So the stories that we're supposed to believe is that Jay-Z magically left a nightclub to end up at a random house party at the perfect moment when she was in a room alone after he somehow drugged a drink he didn't give her, and out of the several rooms knew exactly which one that she was in. And so they go on about where is Beyonce and all of them. Let me see. They were talking about where she was. I was trying to get back. And then she says something about Jaguar, right? So that is all the evidence. That is all the stuff that I wanted to go over in regards to what she said that about Jay-Z. Everything else is just citing. And again, she is the Bay Theory and Beyonce Receipts on Twitter. You can go back and read her thread to see what she needs, what you want to discuss on that. But I just wanted to bring that up because there was some inconsistencies that I knew that me and Blue we had gone over. But you know, we were just trying to we were trying to figure some things out. But she brought some clarity to some things that in my head about where certain things are and where they would have gone. And again, the traffic situation was one thing. The second thing is to sit and watch the VMAs outside. And I'm assuming that it was kind of cool out there. But then again, people do whatever they want to do. The third thing that was that got me was her age, and 13 is 13. Even if you are considered to be a mature looking 13, as a lot of you all like to say, but still in the face. And even when you start having conversations with a 13-year-old, that's still 13. Also, she said that she left the home and went down the street to a gas station, and she called her father. And at that point, no one did a criminal investigation. The father didn't take her anywhere to do a criminal investigation. That was odd to me. I wonder if there's some more information in regards to that. But again, I have no dog in this fight. I'm just reporting the information as I see it. You all, again, have the ability to ingest it and come to your own conclusions about it. So, what do y'all think about this? Let's see what's going on. I agree, Cat and Chill. So, Manish Way says, I hate to say this shows Jay. I've been drinking coffee, so I'm just tongue tied. I hate to say that this shows how stupid Jay-Z is. A civilian can't file a criminal complaint, only the government can. You can go, yes, the government can file a complaint, a criminal complaint, but it has to get started by that person going to the police and getting it started. So they can file a complaint with the police to get those things started. So we'll just, we'll just see. We'll just see. We'll just see. So, what do y'all think about all this information? What do you all think about Jay-Z fighting back? The two letters that I read in regards to Jay-Z wanting the plaintiff not to be classified as anonymous, and also the information provided by Mari Henderson, I guess, who is an attorney or an associate that works in the law firm of Jay-Z, that she was coerced, I guess is the word to use, to try to say something about Diddy and Jay-Z. And when she said no, they dropped her case, even though it was a separate trafficking case, a separate sex trafficking case. It had nothing to do with Sean Combs or Sean Carter, Jay-Z. So, interesting. He doesn't need to defend himself publicly. They know your angle is now. All right, people. We do this every week, and if I get more information or things that I feel that we need to go over, I definitely will come back at you. We do this every week, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you cannot stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.